Hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm Chiko, and for the people who don't know me, I'm Chiko and I live in Japan since 2018. And here I want to explain how I learned Japanese and why I live in Japan. Okay, let's start from the beginning. As many of you, when I was a child, I really loved Japan, and I remember my sister, she was watching anime on MTV at night, and I was like 10 years old, and I remember she was watching Inuyasha, so I joined her and I fell in love with this anime, with the character, with the music, with the Japanese culture, the shrine, and to me it was beautiful. So I think maybe Inuyasha was the reason why now I live in Japan, and not just that, of course, but since that moment I remember I was like obsessed with Japan. I wanted to, of course, visit Japan, live in Japan. I was imagining myself living in Japan and talk with Japanese people. And especially when I was around 13, 15, I started to study Japanese. I bought a Japanese dictionary. Like everything about Japan made me so happy. And I remember for my birthday, my mom bought me a bag with the Japan flag. I started to read manga, and I didn't have internet at the time, and so no internet, smartphone, so I couldn't type on Google Japan pictures. So I, most of the time when I was free after school, I was going to the library. I was looking for some book with picture of Japan and cherry blossom and Japanese shrine and everything. Like everybody knew about my love for Japan, but when I was at school I was bullied, and yeah, I remember people like made fun of body for because I was a really shy kid, and made fun of me. And I remember I had this mini Buddha, and this mini Buddha was like my treasure. And I remember when I was at school, I had this mini Buddha in front of me on my desk, and it was like something that helped me to concentrate and study because I wasn't really good at school. So I had this mini Buddha, and every time I look at this mini Buddha, it was like he was helping me and gave me luck. And my classmate, they saw this mini Buddha, and what they did, they took this mini Buddha and threw away. You can imagine how I felt. But anyway, I don't want to talk about this. Maybe in another video I will explain what happened and blah 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 blah. Anyway, the first time I started to study Japanese, I was 15, and after school I went to another school, so I took the bus and I went to this Japanese lesson class, and the teacher was actually Japanese. And to me was too difficult to study Japanese. I remember everybody in the class was like, oh yeah, I understand it. They were speaking Japanese. I think I was the worst in that class because I couldn't understand nothing. I think at that time I was like, oh, whatever, I don't want to study Japanese anymore because maybe it's too difficult. And so I didn't go. Like I went like 3-4 times and then I just gave up. Yeah, I wasn't really good at studying language like English or Japanese, or yeah, everything about school made me sick. Then when I was 12, I kinda gave up about my dream. I gave up about my dream about living in Japan and study Japanese because I was working in Italy, and because I'm Italian, and I was like, maybe it's impossible for me. Like I don't have money. I just start a new job, so I was like, okay, whatever. But then something happened, I don't remember. I'm happy I didn't give up because I started to study Japanese by myself. I bought some books, but they were too difficult. So I start to learn the alphabet, like hiragana, katakana, and some kanji, and some very simple expression like hello, hi, thank you, how are you. And then when I was 23, I came to Japan with my best friend just for a holiday trip. It was 2 weeks just in Tokyo, and I wasn't expecting nothing. Like I was like, okay, let's go to Japan, let's take cool picture and let's have fun. And it was very, very magical, and I'm so happy I'm so happy I had the chance to share this dream with my best friend Laura. Ciao Laura. And yeah, she's still my best friend, and we had so much fun. And I remember when we went to Shibuya and Ueno. It was like amazing. I watched so many videos before go to Japan, but when I was there I was like, oh, I'm so emotional, so I was almost crying. And I started to dream about a life in Japan again. So something happened in my heart, and I was like, maybe I should, when I go back to Italy, I should work and save up money for Japan, for studying in Japan, because I really wanted to try to live in Japan. And then something happened, because while I was in Japan, I met a guy. This guy before going to Japan. We met on internet. It was like a website to meet Japanese friend and partner. And I'm so happy I subscribed to this website because I met this guy. This guy sent me a message, and it was like, I usually ignore many messages, but he sent me, I don't remember what, but I thought, well, he sounds interesting, so let's reply him. And I'm glad I did, because when I was in Japan, we met. He was like, okay, I'm gonna bring my friend. This guy invited his co-worker to come, but he said to me, my friend, he doesn't speak Japanese, so I will translate, because this guy could speak English. He was Japanese too. And I was like, okay, to me it's not a problem, but I don't speak Japanese, so you need to translate, please. And yeah, so we met, me, my friend, this guy I met online, and his friend. And his friend now, it's my husband. Yay! So I'm so happy I met this guy on internet, because he introduced me the guy who became my husband. Yeah, so we met this evening in Shinjuku. We couldn't communicate at all. But anyway, when I met my husband, I think it was love at first sight.
And now when we talk about this, you say, yeah, when I saw you, I felt something.
But okay, yeah, and I'm happy we met. But anyway, I think I'm gonna talk about how I met my husband, and the thing happened after in another video, because I want to explain better. This video is how I learned Japanese. So yeah, actually I learned how to speak Japanese just by speaking with my Japanese husband, because after I come back to Italy, I went in Japan again, like for 3 months. I saved up money to study in a Japanese school. It was like 2-3 months of school, so it wasn't a very long time to learn Japanese, but it helped me, I think, to learn the alphabet, the hiragana, and some useful phrase. When I left the school, I couldn't speak, I couldn't understand what Japanese people were telling me. For me, I think it took like 3 years to speak Japanese, but I mean really speak Japanese and be able to understand what Japanese people say. I'm not talking about kanji because I can read some kanji, but of course I cannot write. When we first start dating, of course, he couldn't speak Italian or English, so we didn't communicate really for at least 6 months. We had like long distance relationship, and when I was in Italy and he was sending me message, it was everything in Japanese. What I did, it was translating every word, and I start to write down every word, everything. And because there is a different time zone, you know, Italy and Japan is 7 hours different, so he was like, most of the time, I'm going to work and home, and I will sleep, I will eat. So he was saying the same things every day, and I was replying like, okay, good night or good morning. So I start to understand something, because of course I was repeating every time the same stuff. It helped me to understand. At the time it was really frustrating, because when I come back in Japan, we have some date. I wanted to express my feeling, and he also wanted to say something, but he was speaking Japanese most of the time. Like, not most of the time, he was speaking Japanese, and I was like, Chotto, can you speak slowly, because I don't understand. But now I think this is the best way to learn Japanese, because we were speaking only Japanese for every day for 24 hours. So in some way I managed to understand and speak Japanese. And then I start to work in cafe, and my coworker and my boss, of course, they were Japanese and speaking to me in Japanese. So yeah, it was difficult being in a Japanese environment with only Japanese people. And if you start to speak Japanese with these people and write down every single word, not only the stuff they send you, but also, for example, if you search for a Japanese video, you see the comment of Japanese people. This is really a good way to learn Japanese. I know it sounds very difficult at first, but this is what helped me. So for example, when I saw someone commenting something, I was like, oh, let's see what he's or she's trying to say. So I did copy and paste on Google Translate app, and I translate every word. So if I didn't know a word, I put on my note and translate so many words, verb and everything. When I could understand nothing of Japanese, my husband was, when we were living together, he was like, please, for example, before going to work, do this. I memorize the pronunciation he was saying to me, and I immediately write down and translate. And I was like, because maybe I'm good with listening, you know, so I was translating immediately, and I was like, can you repeat? And then I was like, oh, okay, he just told me this stuff. I know it sounds strange, but it helped me a lot. If you are looking for a really good way to study Japanese, I recommend you some app. I really didn't use many app, but if you want to, for example, learn kanji, you can download some kanji app. Many people say iTalk, I think is the name, is really good. Also a book, I think it's Minna no Nihongo. I think it's really good, and this is the book they use in Japan for the Japanese lesson. And also I recommend you a really good YouTube channel. I think the name is Ammo something, and she's really good because she explains everything in a perfect way. And listen to Japanese music, watching anime or movie with the subtitle can be good, but if you know already Japanese, I think watching anime, movie and Japanese channel can really help you with the pronounce of some word, you know, and learn how to speak in a Japanese way. And so I think you need also to work on pronunciation. Okay, I think I explained everything. I'm sorry if the video was too long. If you have some questions, just let me know. I'm glad if I can help you. Thank you for watching. Bye bye. じゃあね。